Hey guys, welcome back to AskSnes. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're all ready for Christmas. Only 3 weeks to go now, I think it is, so awesome. Can't wait, love Christmas, best time of year. So yeah, this is AskSnes. As you know, if you've watched this before, this is where you get to ask me anything you want and I answer your questions. So if you do have any questions for me, just leave them down below in the comments, and in the next video I'll answer as many as I can. Right, so let's crack on. I've got quite a few comments, so I went way through and see what we've got. So the first question today comes from Carl Taylor. Hello Carl. And Carl asks for my thoughts on gamers versus collectors, which is quite apt considering a comment that has been coming quite regularly on my videos recently. Still not sure if that's just a troll or not, probably is. Yeah, gamers versus collectors. I mean, I know some people seem to have an issue maybe with this in terms of you are one or the other, you can't be both, which I would disagree with because I am both. First and foremost, I'm a gamer. Always been a gamer since around about 1985 when I started playing games, when I played Way the Exploding Fist on the Commodore 64. I'm a gamer without doubt. Only 2003, 2004 was when I started to become a collector and go back and buy the retro systems. And I don't understand why some people seem to think that collecting or collector is a dirty word. It all depends on how you handle it. Obviously I've had my issues with the collection side of things, which is why I, a year ago, decided to put it down and walk away. And it was the right thing to do at the time. I'm now in a better position, better place mentally in terms of the collecting, and I felt comfortable in buying the games. And I made the right decision by going to buy a PAL. For me though, I mean, it is really all about the gaming. The collection side, yes, I've got that collector mentality like a lot of us. You know, I mean, I think the majority of people who watch my videos are also fellow collectors or have an interest in the collection side, as well as just playing the games and reliving the memories. I don't understand why it's such a bad thing to be a collector and to care about a condition. That's something that bugs me. It's like, why does it matter if someone cares about the condition? Just, if you like the video and you like the person and you like pickup videos, just enjoy them for what they are. It doesn't matter if the person is saying, wow, look at the condition, because in my case, I know that the majority of people that are going to watch me are like me and actually do give a toss whether it's in good nick or not. You know, and especially if you find one that's a tough game to find and you find it in really nice shape, you want to show it off, you want to be like, look, because I don't know about you, but I don't have anyone to talk to about this. I don't have family and friends like in the vicinity that are into gaming, and especially not retro gaming. And collecting is without doubt something no one's into. I don't know anybody that's into collecting other than you guys. So that's why I make these videos, to talk to fellow collectors as well as talk to gamers about gaming, because you know I do talk about modern games as well. I like all games. But yeah, I don't really see it as a problem either way. I think whether you're a gamer and a collector, or you're just a gamer or just a collector, as long as you're having fun and enjoying the hobby that you're into, really that's all that matters. Just, it can be difficult with the collection side to not let it take over. Absolutely, but you know, you have to find your own way. Cheers, Carl. Right, next one. Let's have a look. Chris Davis. Hello, Chris. Chris asks, what are your final thoughts on the Wii U, and what were the best 5 games that you played on it? Well, I'll be honest, Chris. I mean, I'm just going to say what I think because you know that's what you expect, isn't it? The Wii U, I owned it twice, and as you all know, if you've watched me for a while, I assume Chris has because he's asking that question. I liked it when it first came out, and then over the time that it was out, I lost interest and I found the system to not be a very good one. I didn't like the controller very much, it was too big and clunky. I didn't think the games were particularly inspired, and I found that they held your hand too much, and especially like Mario Kart 8, I found that really boring to play. Didn't enjoy it whatsoever. So really, I'll be honest with you, there isn't 5 games that I can actually say I really thoroughly enjoyed on the Wii U. The only one that really stands out was it Mario 3D World? I think that's right. I think it was 3D Land on the 3DS, wasn't it? But the one that's on the Wii U, I really enjoyed that. It is too simple for a Mario game, I'll be honest. It's way too easy to get through. But I loved the cat suit and the little additions, and I just felt that it played exceptionally well. Yeah, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. That's the only game that really stood out for me on the system. It's a system with potential, but it just didn't really pan out. And really, the Switch is what the Wii U should have always been. Obviously, I assume the technology just wasn't there to actually be able to do it at the time. And the Switch seems to be doing exceptionally well, so I'm looking forward to getting one of those eventually. But yeah, overall, I still stand by the fact that you know the Wii U at the beginning was great, after owning it for a while, it did not work for me personally. There's a lot of people who love the Wii U. That's great. If you're happy with it, fantastic. I know Novabug is going for a full set, and at the end of the day, if it's a system you enjoy, it doesn't really matter if other people like it. If they do, it's great because you've got similar interests to talk about. But not everybody likes the same thing, and that's a good thing in life. We all have to have different tastes. Right, next one. Let's have a look. Right, 20th Century Retro guy. Right, he asks, what's better, the SNES or the Mega Drive / Genesis? Now don't brush over this, don't worry about pissing your viewers off. I want to see you go deep. Okay, fair enough. Alright, I've got to be objective now. Obviously, as you all know, I'm a SNES teenager. That's what I grew up with. I had a Mega Drive very briefly when I swapped my Super Nintendo with a kid called Ralph's for his Mega Drive. Don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I did. As I said before, it was for Streets of Rage. That was the main reason I wanted to swap it out. God, I still can't believe I did that. But eventually I went back and bought a new SNES, and the SNES has always been my favourite system. Now, over the years of collecting, I've gotten to really like the Mega Drive. I've had like the Japanese Mega Drive, I've had the Sega Genesis, and I've now got a PAL Mega Drive. And I've got to say, I really like the system. There's so many great games on the Mega Drive that you can't play on SNES. And 16-bit gaming is the best era for me. It's the most nostalgic, it's the most fun. It's really innovative. They really try to just try anything they could and throw it at the consoles. The games look and sound and play amazingly well. So, I mean, which is better is still going to be the Super Nintendo for me personally. But objectively, I would say it's a draw. I know that's a bit of a cop-out. I don't really think that you can pick one over the other, if you're really honest, because in terms of exclusive titles, both of them have an amazing catalogue of exclusives that make both consoles worth owning. They also have the same game in different modes. So you've got Aladdin, you've got the Mickey Mouse games, completely different experiences, which is another reason to own both systems. I think in terms of audio, it comes down to what you prefer. I know that I personally prefer the Super Nintendo. I think it's a lot crisper and cleaner. It's got really, really good voice. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. But yeah, it basically does voices exceptionally well. Whereas the Mega Drive is very muddy and they sound really bad when they use voices on the games. Some games they get away with it, like Mega Turrican. Actually, it doesn't sound that bad. It's actually quite nice. It's still a bit garbled, but it's not as bad as a lot of the Mega Drive games sound to me. So it is a personal choice. And I know that from over the years seeing videos and reading articles that people have said that they don't like the synthesized sound of the Super Nintendo, and I can understand that because the Mega Drive is more of an arcadey, bassy, rough around the edges sound. So it all depends on what you prefer, really. I just really like the orchestral synthetic sound of the Super Nintendo myself. Graphically, again, another thing. Some people don't like the Super Nintendo is so oversaturated and so clean, whereas the Mega Drive is clearly more of an arcade-based system. And when you see the ports, like Street Fighter 2, I think most people would agree the Super Nintendo version overall is the better port. But graphically, I think the Mega Drive is a lot more faithful to the arcade machine. I just feel that the Super Nintendo one plays better, has better audio. So for me, it's better. And also as a kid, it just, the nostalgia really overrides that. So I really think that you can just find an argument for both consoles. I don't think you can really genuinely say that the Mega Drive is better than the Super Nintendo or the Super Nintendo is better than the Mega Drive, unless you're using your nostalgic memories. If you're being completely 100% objective, they are brilliant consoles. And if you can afford to own both of them, then absolutely do it, because they are great systems. So I hope that answers your question, mate. Okay, next up, let me have a look. Right, okay, so next up is Sean, Pompey Games Room. Hello, Sean. It's the early 90s. Sell me the Super Nintendo and why, in your opinion, it's the console of choice over the Mega Drive. Oh, here we go again. I'm not a marketing guy. That's going to be really tough for me to do that. Well, I think really you've got to go with the obvious, is the amount of colours, because I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I know it has, I'm thinking 256, but I don't know if that's right. I know the Super Nintendo's got a lot more colour options, a better colour palette than the Mega Drive. As I say, the sound chip would be something else I would also market at the time. I would have, stereophonic, synthetic orchestral sound, which is absolutely incredible and gives you some amazing scores on your games. The graphics are absolutely out there. Mode 7, of course, the scanning and rotation is an absolute plus for the Super Nintendo. The 6-button controller as well, in the box. You don't need to buy an extra controller to play Street Fighter 2. What else is there? Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, the Super FX chip, of course, and the DSP chips, and all the chips they put in the cartridges that enhance games and managed to somehow make games work on a system that really shouldn't have been able to play them. So, yeah, that's what I would go for. I mean, that's a lot to put into your marketing campaign, into an advert. And, you know, it all depends on when, in the 90s, when did he say mid, was it? Early 90s. So, early 90s, well, yeah, you could actually, because Star Fox came out in 93, didn't it? We didn't get the Super Nintendo until 92. So, if we just shoot forward the year, we can include the FX chip in the marketing. But yeah, I would say basically the sound quality, the graphics, Mode 7, the Super FX chip, and the DSP chips, and all the other enhancement chips they put the Super FX to. But at the early 90s, you just go with the Super FX chip. And of course, the 6-button pad, which you cannot understate how important that was at the time, when it's really hard for people who are younger that don't really understand the impact that Street Fighter 2 had when it came out on the consoles. And when it came out, the fact that the Super Nintendo had a 6-button pad out of the box and you could just play the game, you didn't have to buy anything extra. Massive difference, you know, between the two consoles. It was so important, that was. It's fantastic. So yeah, you know, I am extremely biased, of course. Right. So just trying to find another question. Right, Retro Chef Lee. Hello, Lee. Favourite game controller and why? You see, automatically I'd go Super Nintendo because I love the 16-bit, the 6 buttons. I really like the D-pad. I think the D-pad feels really nice. The buttons themselves are quite responsive. It feels really comfortable the way it moulds into your hands. But there are other controllers that I really like. I really like the Xbox S controller, and of course subsequently the 360 and Xbox One controllers are really nice. DualShock, I'd say DualShock 1 and DualShock 3 I really enjoy, which is weird because a lot of people don't like the DualShock 3, but I really like the DualShock 3. One of my favourite controllers of all time, actually. It's incredibly comfortable. I like that it's so light as well. I know that the LNR2s are a bit slippy and a bit crap, but I just let that slide because it's such a comfortable controller to use. It doesn't feel like it's weighing your hands down, and it just feels really natural. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I've used most controllers now for most consoles, but I'd probably still say the Super Nintendo is probably the one. Yeah, the Super Nintendo, as I say, because the way it just fits perfectly into the hand. Even as an adult now, it still feels really comfortable. You know, I mean, the Mega Drive is more of an adult controller. It's quite bulky, but the SNES one's just so sleekly designed. And I say the button's really responsive. The D-pad is absolutely fantastic. I even like the shoulder buttons. I know some people don't. They find them a pain in the arse to use. But I always use them for hard punch and hard kick in Street Fighter. It's just the way I've always played. I can't play using the 4 main buttons. It feels a bit odd. So yeah, I'll definitely go with SNES controller. Right, Mark, Sega sent me one. Hello, Mark. So first question, have you ever known anyone to sell off a big collection, make a ton of money, and how much did they get and what did they do with the cash if so? I haven't known anyone other than myself that sold off a decent sized collection. Now, you remember I had about, I'm not 100% certain on the number, I think it's 124 to 126 boxed American SNES games, most of which were pretty much mint. They were really, really nice shape. I sold a lot of them to 2 fellow YouTubers, Retro Dave Nintendo and CyberSnake7, and then the rest of them were sold on eBay. I won't say how much I got for all of those games, and this was back in 2014, but trust me, I got a decent amount, and that personally was to help me out because I needed money at the time for other important life things like adult bullshit. So yeah. Number 2, have you heard the song by the Jetsons, Hard Times? Song is used on Sonic 3 Ice Cap Zone. I haven't, mate. I'll have a look at that. Can you beat Street Fighter 2 1 credit on 4 stars or plus? Absolutely not, no. I usually have it, I can't remember how many stars it begins with. I never upgrade the stars because it just gets hard as hell. but I've not done it on 1 star for a good 1 star on 1 credit for a long time. I could do it when I was a teenager, no problem at all. But now, nah, Bison always whoops my ass. I played it the other day when I first got Turbo back, and I managed to go straight through on the first credit to Bison, which I was chuffed with because Sagat is usually a sticking point. Vega used to be a sticking point years ago, but I've got him sussed now and I have to take him down. So Sagat is always a pain in the arse with his tigers, because all he does is basically Tiger Fireball and Tiger Uppercut, and that's all he does. He just repeats the same bloody thing, but he's a pain in the arse to get past and get close to. But Bison is still the worst, because when he does the Psycho Crusher and all the other moves where he jumps on your head and all that, he's a total nightmare. And he's just extremely twitchy, and that's why I don't like him, because it makes me really edgy trying to fight him. But yeah, I've not managed to do it on 1 credit in a hell of a long time. And as I say, up in the stars, it's just a no-no because it just gets too fast. Have you, what's that? Have you seen Brawling Cell Block 99? I haven't, but I have heard of that. I can't remember who was in it. What did I hear about it recently? I think it was on the John Campier podcast, John Campier show. He was talking about that. Oh, who was the actor in that? I know who it is, and I can't think, because he was talking about the actor's work, and that was a film that came up. But no, I'll have a look at that, mate. I'll see if it's any good. Right, next one. JW asks, do you ever travel to retro gaming markets to buy games or use Facebook gaming groups? Or is it just eBay that you use? Yeah, it's just eBay. I haven't managed to get to any of the markets yet, unfortunately. I know I've said it many times that I will do, so I probably should just stop saying that, because it will happen, but it just seems like it's never gonna. But no, I will eventually get to meet up with the lads. But yeah, I just use eBay. Well, I say I just use eBay. I do also check the online retro stores like retrogames.co.uk, Retro Scene, and there's a couple of others. There's quite a lot actually that have been popping up recently, but none of them are particularly great. So yeah, Console Passion as well, but I don't bother with Console Passion because they don't put any photos up, so what's the point? I can't be asked emailing them about every game I'm interested in, it's a waste of time, isn't it? So yeah, but yeah, I occasionally check those just in case that they've got any bargains, because they do, you know, on the odd occasion they do have some nice deals come up. But 99% of what I buy is eBay, so it is a waiting game, unfortunately. Oh, and thanks, and Jay's also said he enjoyed the video, the previous video. He likes the chilled out style. Thanks, Jay, appreciate that, mate. Alright, Nat Kennedy Bree's got some questions, so let's have a look. Hello, Nat. Right, okay, first question. If you were to go to film school, would it concern you that you would notice flaws in some of your favourite films? Yeah, I think it would actually, mate. I mean, just watching, I used to really be into watching all the extras that come on the Blu-rays and back in the day DVDs. I don't really watch them as much as I should now. And to be fair, a lot of them don't really give you many extras anyway. It's a bonus when you do get them. And even just knowing like how they do CG and that it started to affect me. And when I started to edit videos on YouTube, I mean it's very basic editing, I know, but transitions and things, I started to notice those in films and TV shows, and it tends to pull me out. I don't like that. So I think if I went to film school and really understood how everything was done, it would ruin it for me, because it's not even about taking away the magic. It's just more the fact that I'd be sitting there being critical, like a lot of the film reviewers on YouTube are. And I'd be sitting there picking little things out, like I don't like the way the visual effects were done this way, I didn't think the animation looked right, this shot didn't look like it was lit well, and all this, and the aspect ratio isn't, all this bollocks, when I really just want to sit there and be entertained and enjoy the movie. So yeah, absolutely, I think it would definitely have a negative effect on me. Any other TV shows that you once loved but now have gotten sick of watching? Oh, I think, did I mention Supernatural last time was the one, I think, which really annoyed me that show went downhill, because that was absolutely my favourite show for years, and they just, oh man, they ruined it. But there's been a few over the years. Now I'm older and I've been watching shows for a long time. I just don't make the effort anymore. If a show that I really enjoy just starts going pear-shaped, I just stop watching it because I can't be asked. Like, I used to watch all the CW comic book shows, so that's Arrow, Flash, Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow. Now, I stopped watching Legends of Tomorrow at the beginning of season 2 because it was just getting silly and I just couldn't watch it anymore. I stopped watching Supergirl because it was irritating me and I couldn't watch it, because I think the character's called Alex, who plays Kara's sister. Oh, she was really getting on my tits, and so I just it was just the relationship. And I know that apparently in America CW are renowned for really hammering you over the head with relationship stuff. But I found that character, it was just every 5 minutes, it was just like anyone she met was like, oh, by the way, do you know I've got a girlfriend? I've just started a new relationship. It's like, yeah, alright, love, we get it. You're in a relationship, move on. And it just got really annoying and it ruined the show, so I started watching Supergirl. Which is a shame because Supergirl's a great show, but I couldn't watch it. And then The Flash, I absolutely loved The Flash. Season 3 in particular was my absolute favourite. I think a lot of people didn't like that, but I personally thought it was brilliant. I really love Killer Frost. I think she's fantastic. Danielle Panabaker does an amazing job. But this season 4, the first episode, absolutely brilliant. I was like, oh, they're really on track here. This is going to be a great season. And then it just went, and I was like, what the hell is going on? They basically do what the Americans always do, where it usually happens around season 2. You'll have a really strong first season, and second season, someone comes in and makes the decision, oh, we're just going to throw a lot of humour in here for no reason at all, and completely ruin the tone of the bleeding programme. Now, I know Flash is a lot more light-hearted than the other shows, of course it is, but it was just full on. It was like joke, and it was just bloody silly, and to me it just ruined the show. And I just went, no, I'm not watching it anymore. And that's 4 seasons in, and that's a lot to just give up. But I thought I'm not sitting here and just watching this week in, week out, just hoping that the show will improve. It's just not worth it. And then on that token as well, a show that I nearly gave up on recently, and I'm glad I didn't because it has fixed itself, was Designated Survivor. If you've never seen that show, it's absolutely brilliant. The first season was really good. It was a proper drama. And basically what it is, Kiefer Sutherland plays the Designated Survivor. So when they have, I think it was the State of the Union, if I remember correctly, they have the State of the Union address. He's put away in a bunker just in case anything happens and the President and the Cabinet are killed. So a bomb goes off. What's the bleeding name of the building? I can't remember the name of the building where they have the State of the Union. I'm blanking. I do know it, it's just not coming. Anyway, they blow the building up, the President and everybody's wiped out, and Kiefer Sutherland becomes President. So the first season is brilliant because there's intrigue, there's conspiracy, there's him trying to learn how to do the job when he's not really qualified to do the job and to bring the country together. And you've got Maggie Q, who plays an FBI agent. I love Maggie Q, she's fantastic in everything she does, and she's absolutely stunning. Such a beautiful woman. But she's such an incredible actress, and she's so good. And you've got the two stories really. You've got her with the conspiracy part, and you've got Kiefer Sutherland trying to hold everything together for the country, and it's an absolutely brilliant show. But then the second season began, and the first couple of episodes, again, they just threw a load of really silly humour in, and whoever was scoring the show put this ridiculous, and I hate to use the word whimsical, because I really don't like that word, because it's been overused on YouTube a lot, but it was that kind of music. It was really silly music, and it was always light-hearted, ha ha ha, and it was like, what the bloody hell's going on? And you ended up with 2 shows. You ended up with a silly, whimsical, comedy bullshit White House show, and then you had the second half was Maggie Q and this god-awful British bleeding spy, which, why do they keep putting those stupid British accents in American shows? Drives me insane. Give them a proper accent. And, oh god, it's so annoying, it really, and the character's still there and he's still a twat. So they put him in there with her, and it was all serious and dark, and it was mysterious and conspiracy, and they're still continuing the story of season 1. And I was tweeting about it because I was losing my shit, because I was like, this is ridiculous, please don't ruin this show. Luckily, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 episodes in, they turned the tide and it all came back to where it was in season 1, and now the show's back on track. And you have like the odd joke here and there, it's really nicely done, it's much better. They also added a new character, which he's got a really weird name and I can't think what he's called now, but he's an advisor to the President. He was in another show and all, and he played the twat in that show and all. He's very good at playing twatty characters. I don't like him at all. I mean, he's probably a really nice bloke and a great actor, but the characters that he's picking are wrong. They've toned him down a lot over the last couple of episodes. He's so much better. But yeah, I nearly gave up on Designated Survivor. I'm really glad I didn't. And if you did, please go back and try again, because it has actually improved and gotten back to where it should be. And you can tell it was the writing as well. It was not only the scoring was terrible, but the writing was bad. I mean, not only the comedy they were throwing in there for no reason, but just the actual dialogue. I mean, some of the dialogue Kiefer Sutherland had to work with was chronic, and you could see he was struggling. It was pretty bad. Well, that's a bit of a long answer, isn't it? Jesus. Okay, next question. Would you like to visit New Zealand? Mate, absolutely. It's one of the places on the map for me. I mean, at the moment, the places I really want to visit are going to be France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Nordic regions, all of them, because I'd love to. I want to see a lot of the Aurora Borealis, what you call it, Northern Lights, and all that. And I want to obviously go to like the Czech places, like Eastern Europe. I want to check some of those places out. I want to go to America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. You know, there's so many places I'd love to visit, but I've got no idea if it will ever happen or how to even make it happen, because, you know, it costs a lot of money, especially in New Zealand and Australia. My mate went to Australia not long ago. He's been there a couple of times now. To be fair, he does fly business class. He doesn't go like basic. He's probably watching this. Hello, Rich. And I think he said it was like £3,000 return, which is just like, holy shit! That's a lot of money, and that's just to get over there. That's not even his hotels, no, I don't think. Unless I'm wrong and it is his hotels, which in which case it's probably a bit better, but yeah, a lot of money. Why have you decided to concentrate on serious questions rather than the comedy ones you used to answer willingly? Because, in all honesty, mate, it pissed a whole lot of people off who were watching the videos, and people stopped watching the videos and getting annoyed by it. And it was starting to niggle me a little bit, because, you know, you can only take a joke so far, but, you know, you need to know where the line is and when to step away from it and stop doing it. And so I'd rather have proper questions, and I just think it makes the videos a lot more interesting. You can have the odd joke question, yeah, but if you got like 20 or 30 of them, I mean, come on. If you woke up with $1 billion in your bank account, what would be your first purchase? There wouldn't be a first purchase, actually. If I had $1 billion in my pocket, or £1 billion, then I would be travelling. That'd be the first thing I'd do. Well, the first thing I'd do is go shopping, buy some clothes, get all my outfits ready, and then I'd just book a tour and just travel. I'm not sure if I can't decide if I go to Europe or go to America first. I would probably go to America, because I want to do what Stephen Fry did, not with the black cap, but I just want to travel the whole of America, all of the states, and just really soak it up. So spend a few months out there, just really enjoy it, because I think it'd be fantastic. Because, you know, I mean, most of us are fascinated with America, and it's just, American culture is pervasive these days, and so, you know, you want to go there, you want to see what it's really like, then you know, meet the people. I think it'd be fantastic. So yeah, I'd probably go to America and Canada first. That's a hell of a bleeding journey, so do all that, and then come back, do Europe, and then I'd go over to Australia, Japan, New Zealand, oh God, yeah, in America, and I'd go to Hawaii. I mean, I'd love to go to Hawaii. I'm a massive, massive fan of the TV show Hawaii Five-0, and so it's probably not a real representation of Hawaii, but it just looks like a beautiful place. And I've seen, this is random, but when I used to watch diners, drive-ins and dives regularly, and when Guy used to go to Hawaii to find meals, oh man, Hawaii looked absolutely beautiful, so I would love to visit Hawaii. Yeah, that's probably actually quite high up on the list. Great questions, Nat. Thanks, mate. Right, okay, next question from Wiz Gamer. Thank you, mate. Hi, Pete. Would you consider buying a Sega Dreamcast, and what is your dream game that you'd like to have in your collection? Dreamcast, I'm not going to go there. I've had it many times. It's a brilliant console. I actually really like Dreamcast a lot, and there's some absolutely stunning games. But I don't want to start buying every system on the bleeding sun again, because it just gets out of hand, and I will end up making another video where I say, sorry guys, I'm out, I'm stopped buying them. So I want to keep it very, very contained, and I want to be able to control my collection. And in terms of dream game in my collection at the moment is absolutely Super Turrican 2. If I can eventually get a copy of that box complete, that'd be amazing, but it's very expensive, so that's going to be a while before I can afford to buy that. But yeah, eventually one day on that shelf will be Super Turrican and Super Turrican 2. That would be amazing. Right. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions from a good mate, Murray. Old Muzz247365. Hello, Murray, over in Holland. Right, okay, so let me see. So you touched on it briefly, but what's your feeling about console life cycles, anything got like mobile phones? If it does, and it does go the way Apple does, and you bring out a new console every year, then I've got to just leave it behind, because that's ridiculous. I don't really see it happening, because, I mean, financially, who the hell can afford to actually buy a brand new, I don't know, what, £400, say, £350, £400 a console every single year? No way. I mean, that's just ludicrous that they would even think that people can do that, and I don't think they do. I think they know from market research, they're quite aware that people cannot afford to do that. You know, that's why consoles are the way they are. That's why you wait 4 or 5 years between different generations, because it's a very expensive purchase, and it's not just the console on day one either, is it? Obviously, you have to buy the console, and then you want to buy the latest games. At least with the way they're doing it with Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, and probably PS5 as well, from what I've read. Hopefully, anyway. It solves the backwards compatibility issue, so it means that you don't have to really worry about, oh, I can only play it on the PS5 on day one, so therefore have to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 games, whatever coming out on that day. You can just relax because you can play all of your old catalogue, and they will be enhanced by the technology in the new machine. And then when you're ready, start to buy the new games that are coming out, which will be hopefully be coded for that system. So I actually like the way that Microsoft have done that, and the way that Sony are starting to do that. So I think that's a really good way of doing things, because it doesn't force you to rush in and to buy the latest console. Now I know all of us, we have that thing where it's new technology, we want it there, and then day one we want to be on the ground floor. We all know as well that it's probably not the best thing to do, because being on the ground floor means that you have to deal with all the bugs and the issues and the updates and the patches and Christ knows what, and all the other shite that you have to deal with nowadays. But yeah, I think as long as they keep it as it is, and it's just literally a platform, there's no generations anymore, as Microsoft have said. It's just the Xbox platform, the PlayStation platform, and then you have tiers of technology, and you buy the one that you can afford and that is best, or even if you take money out of it and it's just the best platform for you, what's going to depend on the TV you have, the kind of games you enjoy, whether you play multiplayer, you play online multiplayer, or you play single player campaigns, whatever benefits you really. I think that's the best way to look at it. But yeah, I mean, financially is the most important thing of all. That comes first, of course. But I think if they continue the way they are, they're all right. If they start to do the Apple yearly updates, then forget it. What's the point then? I mean, it's just not worth it, is it really? Sorry guys, as always, shitty phone. You can only record for like half an hour and then the bloody thing turns itself off. Android, man, technology is so bad. Anyway, so we just answered Murray's question, so on to the next one. Next question is from, is it Skona, number 1. So thank you, mate. Question is, which in your opinion is the better game? Streets of Rage 2, Final Fight, or Double Dragon? Which order and why? I'd say the better game is Streets of Rage 2. Which order would I put them in? I'd probably go Streets of Rage 2, Final Fight, and Double Dragon. I really like Double Dragon, it's a great game, but I don't think personally, not for me anyway, it doesn't really compare to Final Fight and Streets of Rage. The Streets of Rage games edge the Final Fight games because I feel technically they feel a lot better when you're playing them. You're able to combat multiple people and you really feel like you're in the action, whereas Final Fight a lot of the time, and it does happen on Streets of Rage, just not as much, a lot of the time that people tend to run away from you, and so you have to turn your back on them and wait for them to walk over, which is kind of annoying. Whereas Streets of Rage, you really feel like you're in a fight because you can fight people left and right at either side of you, and they can grab you and you can kick out and you can throw them, and it just feels really, really natural. I much prefer the way Streets of Rage plays. It's really hard for me to say because Final Fight, I mean, I played it all the time in the arcades as a kid, so it has a lot of memories, a lot of massive nostalgic memories. So yeah, but objectively, Streets of Rage is a better title. Steve Powlas, thank you, Steve. What is the current crown jewel of your gaming collection? Ooh, at the moment, let me just have a look. I've got to think now. Yeah, it's actually quite tough. I've actually, you know what? There's a couple of gems in there that I've got. I'm really happy to have picked up. But I would say currently at the moment, Super Celeste, because the game I've wanted for years, literally years, and I've never been able to get a copy of it, and I couldn't afford the American one. I finally got a PAL copy, and I completed it, which that just shows how much I enjoyed the game. I played it all the way through. I played it daily, and I absolutely loved that game. And being a guy that's not really into shooters that much, it was a real nice surprise. So yeah, Super Celeste without a doubt. Right. Oh, don't do that. No, piss off. Bloody technology, man. Everything. I hate touchscreens, they drive me mad. You touch it and it just does everything you don't want it to do. Carl Broussard asks when I started my PAL Snes collection. It's a couple of months back, mate. And when did I begin? Was it July, August, I think? So I haven't been doing it for too long. Okay, Pumpkin Thrower 1717. Great video. What do you think of game remakes? It depends, because you obviously have remasters, you have reimaginings, as in GoldenEye and the Wii, which is an absolutely stunning game. I love that game so much. And obviously Matt Soulfunk Retro, who hasn't made a video in ages, so if you do watch this video, Matt, please make a new video. He worked on the GoldenEye game, which is just absolutely incredible. I love that game so much. Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of it. I think especially I prefer if they take a game from, like a lot of doing with PlayStation, they've just done that to Medieval. I love the fact that they've just done the Crash trilogy, that they're taking the old classic PS1 games, and Christ, they've got a hell of a big library to pick from, and they're revamping them on the PS4. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Especially as Crash came out on physical release. If Medieval comes out on physical release as well, that's just absolutely awesome. So yeah, I really like the idea that they do that. I mean, you can argue. I mean, the problem is like remasters, just making the textures better and upgrading the resolution and the frame rate, and it's nice. And to be fair, you could argue that it's probably not worth it when you've already got the game. But there are certain games, like not long ago I played Medal of Honor Airborne again. I love that game, but Jesus Christ, man, I played it on the PS3 and it's choppy as shit. I mean, I don't really care about frame rate normally, it doesn't bother me, but that game, it was hurting my eyes. It was that bad. It was so choppy. It was an absolute shocker. So I would absolutely love that, and also the Tier 1 games as well, Tier 1 and Warfighter. If they remastered them, perfection, because I'm a massive fan of those three games. So I mean, I don't really have a problem. I think, you know, if it's a game that you actually love and it's done right, it's worth it. Like the Uncharted collection, fantastic remaster. They've done a brilliant job on that. So yeah, whether it's a remake, remaster, reimagining, I'm absolutely saying with it. You know, it all depends on the game, doesn't it, really? Right, I think that is it. Yeah, that's the last question. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate that. There's a really good range of questions as well. And, you know, hopefully you've enjoyed my answers. It feels like it's had some good energy, this video. It's been a great video. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to ask me a question, it can be about anything you like. I know primarily this is a gaming channel, but if you want to talk about gaming, music, films, life, anything on your mind, anything whatsoever, leave the question down below in the comments below this video, and in the next video I'll answer as many questions as I can. So thank you very much for watching as always. I really appreciate it, guys. Look forward to your comments and your new questions. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next episode of AskSnes.